Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Department of Geriatric Medicine Grand Rounds. Before I introduce our speaker today, I'll make some introductory housekeeping remarks. This CME activity is jointly provided by the Queen's Medical Center and UH Jabsom Department of Geriatric Medicine. At this time, please enter the name and credentials of everyone viewing Grand Rounds for CME attendance purposes. As a reminder, evaluations are required for CME. You can find the evaluation by following the link in the chat at the end of this talk. You can also find the link in our email advertisement or on our website. CMEs will be sent out by a sponsor in mid-January. Your comments are very important to the planning committee and will be used to plan future programs. So please do let us know what kinds of topics you would like. Now to move on to our speaker. I'm really pleased to introduce Sarah Tompkinson. She's been a geriatric social worker since 1979. Upon retirement from the VA, she pursued her interest in dementia care by working in a memory care home and at an adult daycare day health program. She is currently the social work instructor for our Geriatric Workforce Enhancement Program grant with the John A. Burns School of Medicine, Department of Geriatric Medicine. Sarah is a certified TIPA SNO positive approach to care dementia educator, a dealing with dementia trainer, and former VA REACH interventionist and group facilitator. She currently is a secondary caregiver for her father, who was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment, and her mother, who lives with Parkinson's disease. Wow, Sarah, you do that in addition to your very busy schedule. Please, everyone, welcome Sarah.
Thank you, Dr. Masaki, for that kind welcome. And I'm grateful that everybody was able to carve out some time this afternoon to focus on the importance of mindfulness and how you can actually use Tai Chi and Qigong as modalities for your own personal mindfulness and meditation. I think it's really important, this topic, because we all are working in the healthcare field. And as healthcare practitioners, we're just often not taking the time for ourselves to talk about our health. And it's more also to include our mental health, our physical health, and even our spiritual side. So this topic about mindfulness and the use of moving meditation with Tai Chi and Qigong is very, very helpful, I hope. Qigong, by the way, in English, it refers to breathing, deep breathing exercise. So there's 3 learning objectives that we have today. The first will be at the end of this webinar. You should be able to describe what is meant by mindfulness and its benefits for wellness. You should also be able to explain how Tai Chi promotes mindfulness to improve your overall health. And lastly, I would hope that you can identify 2 benefits for your own Tai Chi practice, both in the workplace and at home. And maybe some of you will be curious enough to even go and take a Tai Chi class. So when you think about mindfulness, what does that mean for most of you? Well, mindfulness is actually a basic human ability. We all have it. It's not something that you have to learn. It's the ability to be fully present, which means to be aware of everything that's around you and to be in touch with what's going on with you, what you're doing, and not be distracted by other things that are going around us. More specifically, mindfulness to me it's available in every moment, which includes our breath, the other senses, what we see, what we smell, the sounds that we hear. And it is a way of living. Mindfulness brings caring to everything we do, and it can really reduce needless stress. Have you ever felt or found yourself multitasking? Who hasn't? It's often the demands of the job that you're in. But that's where, with multitasking, you'll find that it's really difficult to do a good job at one thing and do it well. But if we can try to be mindful of doing a good job on one thing at a time and prioritizing, that can be really helpful. Other benefits of a mindful behavior include, believe it or not, and it does include enhanced productivity. It supports concentration and even improves one's attention span or focus. With better emotional intelligence, it can improve your mood management. It decreases anxiety, at times maybe feeling depressed or lacking, um, you know, the ability to get focused. So I think it does promote empathy, and also mindfulness can promote creativity due to the fact that you're aware of all of your senses. You might have experienced that awareness of all your senses if you've done other types of meditation. It could be yoga, it could be other aspects of how you're mindful. But Tai Chi is just one modality that I wanted to share with you today. Lastly, another benefit of mindful behavior is better decision making. With your ability to be mindful, you minimize or avoid, like I mentioned earlier, multitasking. Increased awareness to veer away from other distractions, which is really hard to do because, we all have deadlines. You all have charting, and you all have panels with patients. And so trying to get that all done in a day may be very difficult to do. So how does Tai Chi and Qigong transform mindfulness? Well, Tai Chi is a mind and body exercise. It actually originated in ancient China, where it started off as a martial art. It's actually moving meditation, and it includes a series of gentle flowing movements. And these gentle flowing movements create harmony between the mind and body. For the Chinese, we like to think oftentimes that this harmony is related to nature. You've probably heard of the term yin and yang, right? Hot, cold, they're opposites. Um, Qigong is deep breathing. So if you can think for a minute, it's the breathing starts from behind your belly button. It's about 2 or 3 inches behind the belly button. Westerners, we tend to breathe through our throat, or very shallow breathing through the chest. But with this deep breathing, it actually improves the life force or life energy, the qi. And when you practice this qi breathing, you actually, as you inhale, you're expanding your diaphragm. When you exhale, it's the opposite direction, you're concaving. So we'll try to practice doing that as well. But breathing is so important to improve your internal strength. That's what I like about Tai Chi. Other martial arts like Kung Fu, Karate, Judo, there's nothing wrong, but those are more external martial arts. And for myself as a practitioner, I'm finding that it's actually not just the internal strength, but it's also helping with my organs. It's helping with my heart, my lungs, my eyes. I've noticed that it's, I've had problems in the past with asthma and other um, lung problems, but it's actually has improved over the last couple of years. Tai Chi and Qigong too is a lifestyle. Anyone can do it. That's what I want to tell you. Anyone can do it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what your fitness level. It doesn't even matter when you start to learn Tai Chi. Last week, Wednesday, I had the privilege of doing Tai Chi with my Sifu, which is teacher, for guide dogs of Hawaii. And these are people that I thought they were visually impaired or challenged, but they're actually blind. And so we learned a lot from the participants about getting their permission to touch them, touch their hands, to have them learn how to feel what the Tai Chi ball looks like, or to wave your hands in the clouds. And then they taught us that as sighted people, you think when you tell us, Sarah, to move to the right, you're not really telling us how far right. But if you explain it to us in terms of a clock and tell us that we should move on the clock, the right foot moves to the number 3 on the clock, or number 6. And once we started doing this as a group, it was just beautiful to see everybody in harmony and moving. It's low impact, it's safe when practiced correctly. The Tai Chi that I've learned and enjoy is the Sun style. The stance is higher. It's like you're sitting on a high chair, whereas most people in Hawaii have learned Yang, and the Yang stance has more lower. It's lower. It's bending more of the knees, and that's hard on your joints, especially if you have a history of arthritis. As a way of living, Tai Chi and Qigong have, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of emotional and mental health benefits. These deliberate movements help people to feel more relaxed and grounded and present in their bodies. And I will tell you, to relax your shoulders. I bet you everybody right now doesn't realize. I want you to think about lowering your shoulders. And maybe it's taking a breath in through your nose, and gently as you exhale out through your nose or your mouth, feel your body sinking further, either in the chair. Hopefully you're sitting, and as you're sitting in that chair, feel your back relax, your shoulders. Okay, so those are the things that we talk about when we go over principles of Tai Chi. Again, Tai Chi also and Qigong together cultivates that life force, the Qi. It's to grow your Qi, or inner life energy, to flow smoothly and powerfully throughout your entire body. And this is as much spiritual as it is a physical experience. And you'll find after a while, when you start playing Tai Chi, you really don't worry about where your feet are going or where your hands are going, because you're having the joy of just doing it. And over time, when you practice with other people or with your shifu, it will come into place. It's a journey. It's a personal journey. So when I teach Tai Chi, my focus more is on safety first, and making sure that people enjoy themselves, because I know, like for myself, the movements that you're going to learn and how you move your hands, it will follow like everything else. There are historically 5 major styles of Tai Chi. I mentioned 2. The oldest form is the Chen style. It's very fast and explosive, the movements. So when I've done the Chen form, there's a lot of athleticism. There's kicks and jumps, but at the same time, they also have these slow flowing movements. And I don't know, it's pretty hard. So I just tried it once or twice, but I actually prefer either Yang style or the Sun style. Most of the people that moved or immigrated to Hawaii from China, most of them have practiced and brought along the Yang style. It is characterized a little differently with gentle, large frame movements. It has a lower stance. Another style which really isn't spoken a lot of, not too many people know this. I don't even know the house style, but it focuses on internal force. And the other style that is also gained some popularity, even it's gaining more popularity, is this thing called Wu style. And it's more softer, the movements, and its emphasis is on redirecting incoming force with a slight forward leaning posture. So remember how I mentioned with Tai Chi, it's really a defensive martial art. And someone asked me, is Kung Fu better than Tai Chi, or is Tai Chi better than Kung Fu? I don't really believe either one is better than the other. It's just how you're using it and for what purpose. So for me, I use Tai Chi for more than just an exercise. I use it, like I said, to help with my mindfulness. The style that I was trained to do is what they call the Sun style. It is the youngest of all the forms that was created in the 1900s. This style of movement, along with Qigong, is characterized by lively steps. It has that higher stance, so it's not hard on the knee joints or the hip joints. And I love that it was developed by Dr. Paul Lam. He's a family practice physician who lives in Australia. And he actually, when he was in medical school, unfortunately, he had arthritis as a teenager, and it just got worse. So he had learned some Tai Chi from his grandfather, and he started to go back and focus on practicing Tai Chi. And then he established this Tai Chi for Healthcare Institute. So if you look at my last slide that I have on this presentation, there will be a good reference for you. He has a lot of YouTube videos. They're free. He has books. He has charts. So that's Dr. Paul Lamb. And the Sun style, by the way, which is specifically for arthritis and falls prevention, was adopted about 10 years ago by the Centers for Disease Control. And it also has been adopted by the statewide Department of Health Falls Prevention Program. There's about 26, 27 of Tai Chi instructors that are trained in the Sun style with the Tai Chi for Health. And we're required every 2 years to be recertified through a written test as well as to demonstrate for our Sifu. And that's to ensure that we're upholding the integrity of the program and the standards of that form. So there are some principles to Tai Chi. And you always wonder and ask yourself, why does it look so graceful? Why does everybody look so calm? And I want to tell you why. And you can have that. I'm not selling you anything, but you can have that same opportunity experience. The first thing is breathing. And more than often, we don't talk about breathing. It's just something we take for granted. But when you start to be mindful and focus on your breathing, you'll be surprised how much deeper your breathing gets and slower it gets. And when your breathing gets slower, guess what also happens? Your blood pressure starts to drop. Your pulse gets slower. It's just amazing. So when we play Tai Chi today, I'm going to ask that you try to avoid holding your breath while you're moving. There's a tendency because everybody in this group wants to do well for themselves. So you're so focused on what my feet are doing or my hands, you hold your breath. And that's kind of natural. So just try to relax every time. If you don't have any respiratory problems, try to breathe in through your nose. And as you exhale out through your nose, take the tongue in your mouth and rest the tongue on the roof of your mouth. Let's just try that and see how that feels for you. So inhale through your nose, then exhale through your nose. One last time. Slowly inhale through your nose, 2, 3, and exhale out through your nose for 3 counts. Wonderful. You're all doing a great job. The next thing is breath with focus, using that dantian or belly breathing. So we'll practice this as well. But for women, you generally will take your right hand and you'll place it below your navel and the left hand will go over. And for men, the men will place their left hand over their belly button and the right hand on top. Okay, and let's practice that belly breathing. So as I mentioned, the easiest way to understand this belly breathing is try to expand your belly as you inhale. And when you exhale, the opposite way. So imagine when you're exhaling, like you have to go shishi or urinate. I want you to squeeze that pelvis muscle or just feel like you have to hold and then release it, like you're trying to urinate. So breathe in, breathe out. In, like you're squeezing, expanding the belly, then breathe out. And one last time. Breathe out. Very, very good. Such excellent participation. The second principle that's important is body posture. So what we mean by that is whether you're sitting or standing, you want to make sure you want to try to imagine that with your relaxed shoulders, that there's a gold thread that's attached to the top of your head. And the gold thread is just pulling you up to the heavens. And while your thread is pulling you up to the heavens, imagine that the heel of your feet and the toes are grounded. You don't need to have the toes grab the ground, but just kind of relaxed and feel that stabilization occurring through your heels and through your toes, as though you're getting rooted like a tree. You continue to maintain that upright posture and you breathe slowly in and out. And what's good about this upright posture is studies have shown that good posture strengthens the deep stabilizer muscles behind your belly button, and this supports the spine. I think other people refer to stabilizer as the core muscles. That's a Western way of thinking. But for Chinese, it's not just core muscles. It's behind your belly button. It's 2 inches deep, really deep. And when you start doing this often enough, you'll understand what I mean. And what's more, when you're upright and you tend to feel stronger, you start thinking more positively, and your chi can flow better in a well-aligned body. So a case in point, I want you to take your hands, wrap your hands around your body as such. Now try breathing. Is it easier to breathe this way? Inhale and exhale, or is this easier to breathe? Most likely the second way, right? Because you're not constrained by posture being slouched over. Sit up straight, tall. The balance is an essential part of Tai Chi because, like nature, we are happier and we are healthy when our body is in harmony. The last part about Tai Chi principles, and this takes some time, is called developing internal components. And what I mean by that is we have to loosen or song the joints. So you think of your knee joints, your elbow joints, wrist joints. It's learning how to relax those joints and not tense up. Because when you tense up, that hinders the flow of the chi. When you close your fingers, the chi can't flow through. Let the chi flow through under the arms. Even when you're doing a Tai Chi ball movement, okay? You're consciously and gently stretching your joints from within. So think of internally the tissues, the ligaments, the muscles. I try to ask people as they're doing their Tai Chi warm-ups for their back, feel that they're going 2 inches taller than they are because they're lengthening, they're elongating all the muscles and ligaments through their spine. Song strengthens these internal ligaments and muscles, and it actually, over a period of time, can enhance the functioning of their joints. So I too also have arthritis in my hands and my back, and with Tai Chi, I'm kind of surprised that I'm able to do a lot of kicks and stretching that I was not able to do. I had done it when I was younger, but it's coming back. And lastly, over many years of practice, you can develop a state of mental quietness, which is called Jing. That's when you are more mindful of the present, yourself, when you're in this Jing state. It allows your mind to be quiet from within. And that is hard even for me to be still if people know me, but I'm working on it to find that stillness and quietness. I need to kind of walk the walk, right? So just some tidbits about some benefits of Tai Chi and Qigong. I'm going to ask, we're going to play this. This is Dr. Paul Lam. And he has a message for you before we practice Tai Chi.
Learning something new is exciting and usually quite rewarding. And learning Tai Chi is exciting and very rewarding, but it's a little different. We are used in the Western world doing things faster, harder, and rush through things. In Tai Chi, it's different. In the Tai Chi world, we do things slow, so we can be mindful of our movements. And we also taking time to really feel your movements. And with the Tai Chi, we move in curve instead of a straight line. At first, it might seem a little different or even strange, and you might find impatient to get all these wonderful feelings. Because it's so different from what we usually do, I would like you to give yourself some time, maybe practice consistently for 3-6 months. Our studies show that if people stay with Tai Chi for 6 months, they'll really get to like it, get to love it, and also gain a lot of health benefit. So for something good like Tai Chi, like anything that's really good, it takes a little time to get the full benefit. So do give yourself some time to enjoy your Tai Chi.
Okay, so before I'm gonna have you all look at me. Don't worry about the music because I think the music is just gonna distract a lot of people. So I'm just gonna have you practice with me the Tai Chi warm-ups with the 6 joints, first of all. So let's see, can you see my feet? Okay. We won't do anything too difficult. So we always start in a stance, a Uji stance. It's spelled W-U-J-I-G. And it's just a stance of being focusing on getting centered, relaxing your body. If you can do this standing up where you are at the office, or you can sit in a chair. Take both hands to the side of your body. We're going to work the 6 joints, which are a neck stretch, followed by a spine stretch, shoulder stretch, a hip, knee, and lastly, the ankle stretch. So the Tai Chi salute is something I should show you. It starts with the left hand opening up and you close the 4 fingers. Each of the 4 fingers represent the 4 prominent styles of Tai Chi, which were Chen, Wu, Yang, and Sun. Closed, that means this means humility with the thumb closed and the forefinger humility. You then take your right hand, make a fist, place the right hand, the fist, in the center of the left palm. Usually think of strength, but what this means is friendship. So we greet each other before and after class and between sets with friendship. A lot of the movements you'll see is transferring the weight to one leg before you step out. So I'm going to mirror you. So when I call out movements, it's based on how you're facing me. Hopefully this isn't confusing. So you're going to step out with your right leg about shoulder width apart. And you're going to start with the warm up with your head down, looking at your toes. The hands slowly come up, shoulder height. You open your palms. Hold on, let me push this a little higher. Take your palms up and down. Lower the head. Hands halfway up, shoulder height. Open open the palm. So for the neck stretch, your chin is tilting slightly back towards the neck. Palms face in towards the chest. Breathe out slowly. And then lower the palms, the wrists, and hands. We'll do it one last time. You breathe in. Gently breathe out. Breathe in. Chin tucked. Look ahead. Breathe out. And slowly lower the hands to the side. Sideways neck stretch. The hands and arms come up shoulder height. Take your left arm to protect your left hip. Look at the middle finger of your right hand and move the right hand to your right shoulder 70 degrees. Bring the right hand back to the center of your chest. Change hands, bring the left hand front. And now, looking at the middle finger of your left hand, follow that finger 70 degrees to the left. This is turning your neck sideways. Breathe in, out, in, change hands, breathe out. We're going to do one more set, right and left. But I want to see, if you don't have neck problems, see if you can look at that right hand even farther, maybe 80, 85 degrees to the corner of your room. This gives you a longer neck stretch. Then hands come slowly back to the front of the body. Change hands and looking at your left hand, middle finger, move up 85 degrees. Back. Place both hands to the side. Shoulder rolls 4 times. The rolls where the shoulders come up to the ears and then circle forward. 1. Add the breathing in. Breathe out. In. Out. And for the last and fourth one, just slightly bend your knees. Just soften them. Breathe in. And breathe out. Backwards. Shoulders up to the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades, press down. 3 more. Breathe in. Squeeze, breathe out. In. Breathe out. One last time. Open the palms of your hand. Reach up to the heavens, hands going up towards the top of your forehead, and gently press to the earth. Gather that chi energy all around yourself, bringing that positive energy into you and release. And for the last time, think of one thing that you're grateful for today and bring that to yourself. From shoulders, we move to our back. So how this works is you take your left hand and you place it right above your chest. You take your right hand right below the belly button. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take that ball and I'm going to move it away 4 or 5 inches away from my body. So you don't want the ball pressing towards you, should be out. Okay. And from here with the Tai Chi ball, you bring the top hand down and the bottom hand comes up. So the bottom hand reaches up to the heavens. The opposite hand down to the earth, stretching and lengthening your spine. Hands to the front, Tai Chi ball, opposite hand reaches, the left up, right pressing to the earth, protect that hip. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. His hands to the center with the ball. Breathe in. as though you're yawning, stretch like you're waking up in the morning to yawn. And one last time to the right. Back with the Tai Chi ball. This time the right hand's on top, the left hand's below the belly button. With your feet, make sure they're still shoulder width apart. And you're going to take the ball, you're going to move your waist to the right, and the ball just follows. Take the top hand down, bottom hand up, flipping the ball, and move your ball to the other knee, just to the knee. The left knee. Top hand down, flip the ball, float the ball to the right knee. Let's add the breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And one more set. Breathe in, breathe out, and both hands out to the side. As we continue, we're going to work our hips, our hip joints to stretch them out. You've been sitting in the chair for the last 45 minutes or maybe even longer. So for this, it's really important that you think of keeping those feet still shoulder width, or at least 2 to 3 fists width, so you don't lose your balance. If it's too close, you lose your balance. So for the hip stretch, you're going to shift the weight to your left leg. See how I did that? Shift to the left leg, stick out the right heel. Then you're going to put your foot back to the center and then to the side. No hand movements yet. Just shift the weight to the right leg, step out with the left heel, just a little step. Slide that left leg to the middle and then to the back. One last time before we add the hands. Shift the weight to the left leg, step out with the right heel, bring the right toe back and to the front, shifting the weight to the right leg, you step out with the left heel. And slide it back. Now the hands. Your hands come up halfway, shoulder height. You then shift the weight to the right, your left leg, then step out with your right heel as you push your hands back. As your hands come up, you shift the weight to the right leg, step out with your left heel, and your hands pushing back. Step back with the left foot. Last set, shift the weight back to the left leg. Your hands come down, your heel comes up. And last time to the other side, shift the weight, heel, and back. Continuing, your hands come down to the side. Imagine you're going to hold up a wall to the right side. There's the right side of the wall. So your left hand comes on, the right hand comes on top. Your left hand's right below it by the elbow. And then you step out with the left toe. Bring your hands to the center, shift the weight to the left leg. As you hold the wall first to the left side, then step out slightly with the right foot and come back. 2 more times. Shift the weight to the right leg, step out, and back, and then to the tape. Hold the wall, step out, and back. Very good. We're going to finish up with our knees. So take your hands in front of you, make gentle fists. In Tai Chi, the gentle fists refer to like you're holding, I tell people this, you're holding 2 raw eggshells. So if you squeeze those raw eggs that you're holding, you're going to hurt yourself. So the punch is not like a karate punch. It's just a gentle punch forward. And the knuckles are facing up to the sky or ceiling, then withdraw and back. Other hand punches forward, knuckles up, withdraw, flip the wrist and back. One more time, breathe out with the punch, flip the wrist, withdraw, breathe in. Last last time. Punch out, withdraw with the wrist, and pull in. Now you're going to add the feet, the footwork. So again, your feet apart, you're going to shift to the left leg, you point your right toe, and then the left arm punches. So it's opposite leg to opposite arm. Then you withdraw, shift the weight to the right leg, point your left toe, right arm. Again, transfer the weight, breathe in, breathe out, and punch. Breathe in, shift weight. Breathe out, the toe and punch. Last time to the left and right. Shift, point, punch, toe back, arm, and shift weight. Last time to the right, point the toe, punch. Very good. And the last one is ankle stretch. People love this. It's a heel toe stretch. We'll do it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. Right foot, heel toe stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And to close, a little quick cool down. Take your hands, make gentle fists with the right arm, just gently tap, tap, tap the top of the thigh. And the top right above the knee, not the knee, tap on the outside, and a little bit on the inside. Same thing to the opposite leg. Make a fist with your left hand, tap, tap, tap. It's loosening up the thigh muscles because it might be a little sore or tight. Let's take 2 breaths in, breathe in, breathe out. One last time, breathe in. How's everybody feeling right now? Oh, I guess, let's see. Let me share this part.
I'm seeing some thumbs up.
Oh, good. Let's see. This is great. So these are my final thoughts. Remember, Tai Chi is good. It has, it's mind. If done properly and done often, it does help to control your body better. It means the mind is calm and it has greater clarity. And just imagine what can you accomplish? There's so much more you can accomplish when you have clarity in your thinking. So it's so oppositional to fighting. Yeah. And that's what they believe is when you're fighting, a clear and calm mind will prevail. So again, if you're getting into some kind of disagreement with someone, sometimes you'll just need to refocus, take a deep cleansing breath, the breath that we did, and it may just change how you perceive things. Tai Chi and Qigong will not only help you to remember your movements, but it will create a lifelong journey of integrating your mind, body, and spirit. And this, I mentioned I teach Tai Chi. I got permission from the families. These are 2 of my students doing the Tai Chi ball. And as I mentioned to you, what brings me joy, and I think also them, is it's not so much the focus on technique and getting it right, because they have fun doing the ball any way they want to do the ball. But they're moving, and they're breathing, and they're having fun. And I think that's what I want to leave you with. These are some of the resources. We can make the slideshow available to you, the PowerPoint. A good book to read is the Harvard Medical School Guide to Tai Chi. It's a really great resource as well. And Shei-san, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Do we have any questions for Sarah from our audience? We have a small group, so you're welcome to just unmute yourself and ask the question directly.
Hi, Sarah. It's Capono, one of the fellows. Thanks so much for the presentation. Just 2 questions. One, what got you interested in Tai Chi and getting certified? And two, what are the requirements in the certification, and how long does it take?
Those are two excellent questions. So the recertification that's done twice a year, it's a I think it was a two, it was like 5 years ago I did. It's a 2-day class, and it's just going over the principles and learning the basic forms. Elena Ferrer is the master trainer that lives right now in Arkansas because she was hired by the VA Arkansas. Well, actually, she was contacted from Hawaii to go there because Arkansas had the worst um, record of falls occurring with older adults. I mean, they were the worst of all 50 states. And Hawaii's got the least number of falls of all 50 states. So she was recruited. And then next thing you knew, the VA Medical Center in Arkansas hired her to see if she could start teaching Tai Chi with different patient populations. So they have a Gero Fit program. If you look up Gero Fit, and they do some Tai Chi there. They've done Tai Chi for veterans living with post-traumatic stress disorder, and other kinds of chronic illnesses. What got me interested was my father, who's living with mild cognitive impairment. He had tried when I was 14 or 15 to learn. He was trying to teach me Tai Chi, and I was into, like, stuff that high school kids are into, right? So I said, Dad, this is too slow. I can't do this. And I regretted. And so I wanted to reconnect with him. I wanted to have a relationship that we had something in common because his memory was getting bad. So the irony is, I learned all of this. It took about 2 years. I really didn't teach formally until this last year. Go to see my dad. Dad, let's do Tai Chi. He goes, that's not how you do Tai Chi. And that's when he said, I learned Yang form. I went, geez, Louise. So I just last year signed up, and I've been practicing and learning more about Yang style. But it doesn't matter. I told Dad, so it's just, as long as you're doing something, Dad, with me.
Oh, what a story. What
Yeah.
what how were the certification courses? Like what?
No, it's just a two. They went virtually, but she came here to Hawaii. It's just you would really enjoy it. Oh no, it's just 2 days because you're learning with people that are getting recertified as well as people that are new. And we're very much a ohana, and we want the more people that we can train and the more people we can have them serve their families and communities, the better it is. So
It's only a 2-day course to get certified?
well, you take the course, but then you have to get tested for it. And so how you get tested is you actually have to know the first 6 forms, which you wouldn't have a problem.
Oh
I don't
wow.
think anybody in this group would have a problem. And
Oh
it's just
wow.
practicing. Yeah. So
Okay.
anytime, yeah, I'd be more than happy to send you the information to Elena. She'd love to have some physicians and nurses and
Mm.
other allied health professionals because she's worked with OTs and PTs in Arkansas. And I don't think we don't have any physicians. We don't have
Mm.
anybody. And, I become very passionate about it. And I think my current Sifu's trying to train. They want me to retire. I said I can't retire because I love Jab Sim Sim.
Mm.
They said, we want you to come, and they want to train me to teach. I go, no, 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 no. I have a job to do still. I can't do it just yet, you know. So that's why I'm eager and happy to share any information about classes, about teaching people or practice. So if you're interested, the Leeward YMCA has classes for the Sun style. I'm not yet teaching anywhere, and the New One YMCA has a beginner's class, and we have an intermediate advanced class, and we even are learning Qigong stick. That's pretty cool. So
Nice.
just
So do you have to take the class and then get certified?
no,
Or
no. I
oh,
just tell people, what's good is if you're really interested, just go as a visitor. For Leeward and Kaimuki, they have a schedule. Just
I
say,
see.
Sarah came and she talked to us about Tai Chi, and I just wanted to, can I play with you guys and see, and they're just gonna they're gonna bring you into the fold. They're just such kind, loving people.
I see.
Either way, Kaimuki, Windward, we're all the same about sharing and giving of ourselves.
Gotcha. Because yeah, in undergrad, I was a part of a Tai Chi class and learned from a master in California. He was from China, but it's been over 10 years since I started doing it, or like since I did it. So I just wanted to know like how to get back into it. And is that the last slide on your PowerPoint? That first bullet, is that about the classes?
The second to last slide. But you know, Kapono, if you took it 10 years ago, it's not going to be a problem. It's like riding a bicycle. So if I were to say things like show me cloud hands, you would even know. Even if you don't know the movement, you will know that I said cloud hands. You know,
I see.
a 3-brush knee, right? Part the horse's mane. This I'm here, you're doing this. So it tells me you know.
He
You know
taught
the
us about
form.
24 movements, but he didn't kind of name them. He just kind of showed it, and we did it. I had it was a 6-month course, like twice a week.
Yeah, I'm a stickler for knowing the names of the movements, because if you go and you let's say you go to the park in San Francisco, and they're going to look at you and they're going to say, is he doing the 16 form, the
Sure.
24?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they may ask you, are you parting the horse's mane, or was that bird's tail? And you're going, what?
Wow.
So yeah, I really am a stickler about knowing what the forms are, the
Gotcha.
names of the forms.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I hope I've got people interested. I didn't
Are there
see
any
the
other
chat.
questions? Okay, well,
you're
thank
so
you,
welcome.
Sarah. Thank you for the talk. Thank you for the demonstration. That was very nice. For our audience, don't forget, if you'd like CME, there's a link in the chat box right now that John just put in. You do have to finish your evaluation in order to get CME. Thank you all for attending, and thank you again, Sarah. And for our audience, we hope to see you all again next month.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.